Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Money Mindset Hub podcast. I'm your host, Carla Townsend, a money mindset and success coach who helps purpose-driven entrepreneurs dissolve their money blocks and shatter their income ceilings. So in today's episode, we're going to dive into the 3 essential rules for manifesting that you need to know. These are just the non-negotiable principles that will shift how you actually attract the success, the wealth, the happiness, the opportunities that you actually desire to create in your life. So if you've ever felt like your manifestations just aren't landing the way that you want them to, or you're unknowingly holding yourself back, then this episode is going to change the way you approach your desires. We're going to explore the one thing that you absolutely cannot do when you're manifesting and why it's actually keeping you stuck, the unexpected way that deadlines can actually block your manifestations if you're setting them incorrectly for you, the silent energy repellent that you don't realize you're actually creating and how to release it for good, and how to step into full alignment and co-create with the universe without that resistance, without that pressure, or without that burnout. So this episode is really here to help you just reclaim your energy, master the art of manifestation, your emotional intelligence, and then collapse the time between you and your desires. So before we dive in, if you haven't already, please subscribe and give us a 5-star review because we absolutely love to read them. And it also helps us to reach and impact more incredible powerhouses out there just like you all around the world. So let's dive into the episode. So the 3 rules of manifesting. Number 1, you cannot manifest for other people. If someone doesn't want to change or take responsibility or take action, you cannot force them. And it's not your responsibility. You just need to let them be, because you cannot manifest the health, the wealth, the happiness, no matter what it is, for someone else. That is just an inner job. And being an empath myself, I used to take on everybody else's problems and always try to make people happy, just try to fix everything. I was a serial fixer, and it just led me to feeling burnt out, unhappy, bitter because people wouldn't take on the advice even though they were coming to me for it. There's just so many things. And honestly, I allowed it. I allowed it to impact my energy for weeks. And slowly I managed to reduce that time. It wouldn't be weeks. Then I turned it into days, and then I turned it into hours. And now sometimes it even just takes minutes, depending on what it actually is. But the less you take on from other people and the more that you just really protect that energy. So the way I picture it is like it's a big bubble. Unless it's going to directly impact myself and my family, I have to keep this bubble on. It's not that you can't be there for other people, of course, but it's really important that you master your energy because it flows onto everything else. You only have your time and your energy, and they're your 2 biggest resources, your 2 biggest assets. And when you're giving them away to other people, when there is truly nothing that you can do about it, that's also a choice. I've said it so many times, but I will just say it again. The only 3 things that you can control in life: how you act, how you react, and how you don't act at all. And sometimes not actually taking any action is the best thing that you can do. So right now, I want you to ask yourself, honestly, where are you trying to be the fixer? Where are you trying to make other people happy? Where are you allowing your time and energy to be drained by other people when truly it's just not serving you and it's also not serving them? You cannot give from an empty cup. We all know this. We've all heard it a million times, but you truly can't. And one of the greatest things that I ever heard was, what you don't change, you are choosing. Are you choosing to give people your energy? Are you choosing to give people your time, even though you know that it's affecting you? It is impacting you. It's impacting your motivation. It's impacting your discipline. It's impacting the way that you show up, everything. It impacts not just your personal life, it also impacts your business. Everything has a flow on effect. Everything is connected. You cannot give from an empty cup. So protect your time and energy. And remember, you just cannot manifest for others even as much as what you would like to. You truly can't. You are only responsible for yourself. So number 2, strict deadlines that feel restrictive and cause pressure are no good. So everything you desire to create is going to come to fruition. As long as you hold that faith and you don't lose hope, it will come. It's inevitable. If you quit, it was all for nothing. I don't know how many times I have told myself that. If I quit, it's all for nothing, no matter the hard times I'm going through. But true resilience, it only actually comes from those hard moments. Those hard moments are what create the person that you are, the woman that you are, the one with these beautiful gifts, this big heart that you want to put out into the world in whatever way that it is that's true for you. But the fact of the matter is, becoming resilient, it is a game. It is a testing game. So you only have one of two choices, no matter what you're up against: the choice to change and do something about it, and the choice to give up, especially when it comes to your business. And if you have big money goals in your business, which I'm sure you do, big money goals, big revenue goals, profit goals, you want to create this massive legacy in the world and leave the world better than when you came here, you are going to be tested again and again and again, because your work was put on your heart for a reason. It was put on your heart because you're supposed to live it out. As terrifying as that can be sometimes, it's those challenging times that are going to make you the person that you are. You would not be who you are today without those tests, without those challenges, without those initiations. That's how I like to look at them. It's just an initiation. And I always repeat this mantra, and I really want you to take it on as your own. It is all coming together. It is all coming together. It is all coming together. Repeat that to yourself every time you are up against it. It is all coming together. Because the fact of the matter is that you know it's your true purpose. You know what your true purpose is. And you're always going to have this inner pull towards it. But sometimes those tests can show up really sneakily, or they can really rattle you and knock you, maybe for a week, maybe for a few days, maybe for a few hours and minutes. The more that you practice just moving regardless of what shows up and doing what you can about it, you're going to get through. You're going to level up. That is when you know you've leveled up. You've had a test and it didn't break you. It made you stronger. So sometimes those tests can feel like you're just procrastinating. Things are falling apart. Your launches are flopping. Clients aren't signing. The momentum is seemingly slowing down. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Everything is a choice, like I said. And the universal tests are honestly just there as a reminder that your mission is so much greater than you. And it isn't meant to be easy. This game of entrepreneurship is not meant to be easy. It's not for the faint-hearted. I definitely think that it's so much easier just to go and work for somebody else because it is guaranteed. You know what you're getting paid. You show up, you do the work, you get an income, done. Whether that is what you want to do or not, totally up to you. There's no right or wrong. But it's not meant to be easy. Entrepreneurship is not meant to be easy. There is such growth and evolution that happens from having your own business because all of your shit comes to the surface. It isn't meant to always feel good. Feeling good is just fleeting. We can't wait until I feel good, my energy's better, I'm in the right mood, I feel motivated. None of that. That's just fleeting. It's the grit and it's the courage that it takes to build this business, to build a global impact, to create a legacy. That takes dedication and commitment, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, because everything is easy when things are going good. When the clients are signing, the momentum's happening, the opportunities are flowing in, the money's flowing in. When everything feels good, trust me, it's good, it's easy. It's when things are challenging, that's when it is really just testing you to see, do you really want what you say you want? So don't allow your mood to dictate your action or lack thereof. That, my friends, is emotional intelligence. And the ones who are brave enough to move when their back's up against the wall and shit's not working and it's falling apart and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, they are the ones that are going to create something worth remembering. And I know that's you. That's you. That's me. We are the ones who are going to create something worth remembering. And number 3, you cannot control every minute detail of exactly how and when your manifestation is going to come. Right now, I want you to thank that little inner controller in you because she's only trying to keep you safe. And I know I really fall into my controlling energy sometimes, and it's the masculine energy that's coming in when you're trying to control and you're trying to get things done and just move the needle. But sometimes that inner controller is actually doing the opposite. It's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you in this safe, familiar zone. And nothing great comes from comfort. Nothing great comes from that comfort zone, right? We have to push ourselves. We have to feel uncomfortable, and we have to get really comfortable with feeling uncomfortable because that is how we grow. So when we try and control everything, every little detail, control other people and how things are going to play out and when exactly it's going to play out, oftentimes you just end up feel like you're doing everything, but it's not actually happening because we haven't flexed that feminine energy, that feminine muscle of being able to surrender. Do your part. The universe is going to meet you halfway. You have to take action. We can't wish upon a star. That's not how this works. But I want you just to think, how often have you pushed and pushed and pushed and tried to control everything and just get shit done and it hasn't worked? It hasn't worked in the way in which you'd hoped. Can you just switch your focus to doing your part and then surrendering to the rest? Allow your masculine energy to come in. We need that masculine when it comes to money specifically. We need that. It is essential that we have that masculine, that one is actually going to get things done, show up, be courageous, make the moves. But we also need to know when the time is to switch into our feminine energy, which is the receivership and actually being able to hold what we desire. So often we repel what it is we desire, especially when it comes to money. We repel that money through all these three rules. We try and do the opposite. So that when it actually is coming our way, that's when the sabotage comes in because we actually haven't allowed ourselves to step into our feminine and receive because we're actually scared of what that receiving is going to do. We don't know if we can hold it. We don't know what's going to happen when we have it. We haven't actually expanded our capacity to hold more wealth than what we're used to. If you think and you go back to when you first had a job, and I was 15 when I had my first job, and when I got my pay slip, I was like, yes, so much money. It felt like so much money at the time. But then as you go through life, your income will grow. And so that just becomes your norm. Now, when you're wanting to stretch beyond that now, so let's say you've made what you've made in your business to date. You know what you make every month or every quarter or every year. But when you're wanting to 10x that, it can feel really unsettling. And there is a lot of worthiness that has to be worked on. Again, worthiness and your masculine, they go hand in hand. But just remembering that controlling energy and the stress that actually comes from that, it only causes this resistance. It actually creates this really repelling energy. And that is felt. It is felt through your customers. It is felt through your potential clients who are watching you, who are learning to trust you. But that resistance can be felt. So I really encourage you just to learn to shift your energy. Do not let your mood dictate your actions. And remembering that you know exactly what it is you need to do. That goal that you have, maybe it is that next income goal, that next growth goal, whatever it might be in your business specifically, or even in your life, you know what it is that you need to do. And it's often the thing that you're actually avoiding. If I asked you right now, what do you need to do to make an extra 10K this month? You know exactly what that is. That is how true confidence is created. Confidence is created simply through courage. The courage to just try, no matter what. Because you are courageous enough or confident enough to actually try. And the more that you do the things that scare you, that is what builds confidence even more. We're not just born with confidence. We're not born like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is my impact in the world. And I'm going to affect everybody around the world and leave the world better than what I came through my work. Sharing your love and light with the world. Confidence is simply created through courage. The courage to just try, no matter what. And with that said, I'm not going anywhere. And I sure as hell know that you aren't either. Because if you do, it was all for nothing and you're not that kind of woman. Together, we're going to rise. We're going to create the legacy that we always dreamed of. Because you have exactly what it takes. You truly do. Deep down inside of every single one of us, we have what it takes. Otherwise, we wouldn't have these big dreams, these big visions. We wouldn't have them. And sometimes they do feel scary, especially when other people are not dreaming as big. And again, each their own. There is no such thing as competition either. You're in competition with yourself. Try and be 1% better than what you were yesterday. Now, if you're ready to make those big moves, I invite you to join Nicole Towers and I in Money Moves. This is for the ones that are listening and they desire to go big and make this year one to remember, to build something that is worth remembering. The ones who are courageous enough to just go for it. You owe it to yourself to give it all you've got and make those big moves. Because like Oprah said, if not now, then when? When will ever be the right moment? When will you ever be ready? When will you ever have enough momentum or clients or ideas or support or whatever it is? We can have all these different excuses that we come back to. And I know for many of you that you think that if you just had the money, then it would work out. Then you'd be able to do X, Y, Z. But the fact is, it's like the chicken or the egg scenario. What comes first? There's always something you can do. I remember even starting my business. I definitely didn't have the support in my business. I was a solopreneur for so long, probably too long, if I'm honest. And I didn't know a lot of the things that I know now. I didn't know how to launch a podcast. I didn't know how to create a program. I didn't know how to do any of this. But I learned, and I was courageous enough just to do it, just to try. And the thing is, the more that you do that, the more that you actually program your brain to see that, yeah, you have got what it takes. Because no matter what, you're always going to find the answer. You're always going to bring the things that you want to fruition. The link is all in the show notes, or you can go to moneymindset.hub.com/money moves. We are going to take you on the journey to six figures and what it really takes to build this consistency within your business and make this year one to remember. We are so passionate about this because it's a program that we knew we had to create. I hope to see you in there. And with that said, I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any of the incredible future episodes and guests that we have coming up for you. And if you haven't already subscribed to our email list, be sure to do so, because we have some pretty epic things coming this year, as well as a mini magazine that will be sent to our subscribers every single month to help you with all things money and mindset, personal development, and entrepreneurship, to help support you on your journey. So until next time, the world needs more kind-hearted women like you with deep pockets. So keep moving forward and never give up. I'll catch you in the next episode.